welcome back to the It's Time podcast. I'm Mariah, that bitch is Cailey, and welcome to the show. I could see you. I could see you in my peripheral. Peripheral. If you say it just fast, it's like peripheral. Peripheral.
I can see you in my peripheral.
How do British people say it?
Peripheral.
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 I saw him in my peripheral. What?
And then
I
right
feel like
there
it's one of
in
those...
my peripheral, there was.
I feel like it's one of those words that they just pronounce different. Like it maybe doesn't even sound like the same.
Let's look.
Because I can't imagine them saying that. I don't know why.
Peripheral.
Like I couldn't even tell you how you spell that. Let me just tell you that spell check has like ruined my education because I depend on it so much. Like I'll just type fast, and if there's like a spelling mistake, you just autocorrect it. I didn't learn anything in that situation, did I? No.
Peripheral.
Oh. Why is her voice so like
Peripheral.
you can like really hear her like saliva move? Peripheral. Wow, okay. Well,
Peripheral.
I was wrong. Anyways, what?
Starting off strong.
What?
Tangent. Starting off strong.
What? So,
Anywho,
welcome back to the pod. What?
You're wearing my scrunchie. I was like, I had a whole like internal conversation. I was like, oh, that's a cute scrunchie. And then I was like, oh, I have one like that. Oh, that is mine.
Had to do something with the hair today. Well, for one, I did not look like this when I walked in. I had different pants on. My hair was down and like gross. And I had to put on a pair of Cailey's sweats because my fucking cramps and nausea are so bad that the pants I was wearing were hurting because they're tight around the waist.
Live, laugh, love.
Love being a woman, you know?
Oh, how I love being a woman.
This is why like baggy clothes are elite.
I'm going to be really upset when that style goes out.
You can still do whatever you want, though.
I know, but then eventually I'll start leaning into other stuff because I do enjoy it. But don't you love how, like, your most fashionable outfits right now are, like, your largest fitting clothes?
Yeah, I love it.
Like, that's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
So cozy.
Yeah.
My mom's always like, Cailey, why do you hide your body? She, like, thinks it's, like, a...
Like, that's the reason.
Yeah. I'm like, girl, no.
Girl, no.
Girl, no.
Sometimes, yeah. But I would say most of the time that I'm, like... Well, it depends on where I'm at and mentally and in the time, but...
Yeah.
Definitely right now, that when I wear, like, oversized, it's because I won't, like... That's the style I like. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say 90% of the time it's just because I like the way it looks and feels.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's, and then I had to do something with my hair, so I had to use all of her stuff. The slick stuff smells really good.
It does smell really good.
But we definitely have a topic we're gonna get into. We haven't decided that. We're gonna decide as we go.
We'll see how it flows.
There's like many ways this could go, so we're just gonna go with the flow. But first we have some really exciting news. Well, you do. But it feels like really exciting news for me, too.
I was like, wait, what's the exciting news?
Do you want to, like, say it? Or
Hold,
like...
please.
Oh. That was my question. You guys.
I had a baby. Oh, so much for that idea.
Who is our guest today?
Who is this boy? Tell the world. Give the people what they want. What do you have to say? Please, sir.
He sees the other kitty. This might be a short visit, but we just had to show you guys in the moment the cutest little baby in the world, Baby Guinness. And I'll put some pictures on the screen right now of the photo shoot that we had over the weekend. We spent, well, I don't know how long we spent, but we took probably hundreds of photos and videos. Look at that! I just am so in love with that little man.
Anyways, that's my child. His name is Baby Guinness. Not just Guinness, his name is Baby Guinness.
To be clear.
To be clear. My dad named him, and I'm obsessed. He's 8 weeks old, and he's itty bitty teeny tiny. And I've been waiting for him for weeks and weeks and weeks, as we all know. And I finally got to take him home last Thursday. And I've been very worried about how Louie would do. But they had their first playtime today, and I feel like it's going well. So that's a win. Oh, speak of the devil. Hi, Lou.
I feel so ill, sorry.
With her beer in her hand. I feel so ill.
Ill being cramp feeling.
You didn't bring your Myobi?
No.
No. Oh, I'm sorry.
I might get a towel wet and put it in the microwave.
That's what I do when I do need a heating pad. She goes, "You don't have a heating pad, do you?" I was like, "Tell me you don't get cramps." Telling me you don't get cramps.
So if I'm a little quiet in moments, just know I'm breathing through it.
Breathing through the
it's
pain.
It's hard to think properly and stuff when you just feel like, oh my god. That's all I can think about.
Women are literally superheroes.
Actually, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do 2 things. Do you want to just wait?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Honestly, I feel a lot better. I gardened a little bit, and I have a hot washcloth in my pelvic region.
In her pants.
So, excuse me for that. Anyways, where were we?
I genuinely don't know.
I think we were just talking about Baby Guinness.
Oh. Baby Guinness.
Because the last we spoke, we shared that we were like, wait, it was 2 episodes ago.
No, it was 1 episode ago. Well, 2 episodes ago, we were like, next time I'm going to have a baby. And then 1 episode ago, we were like,
oh, yeah, we still don't have baby.
No baby.
But now there is baby.
Now there is. And he's totally taken over my whole life, and I love it. But more on that later.
Yeah, first just tell us about, finding out, picking him up.
Okay.
The baby story.
Well, we were at happy hour, and I knew that he'd been taken back to the shelter because he'd gained enough weight, and that he'd been neutered that
It took him forever to get to 2 pounds.
It did. And now that I have his medical records, I look back, it's been an issue since March when he was first taken to the vet. At one point he actually was losing weight.
Oh my god.
I know. Little baby runt.
He is the runt.
So he'd gotten neutered that day, and I got a little picture of him asleep on drugs.
Oh yeah, I'll put it up.
He literally looks dead.
Cute.
But he's so cute.
But he's not, so it's so cute.
He's not dead, so it's cute. If he was, then obviously it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
So I was expecting to be able to take him home in the next day or 2. And I had taken work off that day, which was a bummer because I was hoping that would align with when I got him. But we showed up at Happy Hour, and literally as we were sitting down, I got a phone call and was like, what if it's the Humane Society?
Literally have this moment on video. I was like, oh, I have to start recording.
Which was so funny. I didn't even think about that.
It was people recording their friend finding out they got the job or something.
Yeah.
That type of thing. I was like, I have to capture the moment. I'm a capturer. I always have been.
Yeah, you are.
I've been the documenter of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Since Snapchat became a thing, really.
Oh my god.
When we were in high school, just so you know.
I
our
wish
age.
I documented less when Snapchat became a thing.
What's crazy is I can't and I won't delete my Snapchat because I need the memories.
Because of all the memories.
Yeah. I could go back. That is my
that is my
journal.
College years.
Yeah, every day is documented. Probably every day, I'm not even kidding. Snapchat was really big in college.
It really was.
But in high school, even when we'd have our weird friend group nights and we'd get freaky, Well, that sounds weird. We didn't get freaky like that, but like we just were weird, which
And we
everyone
get
knew.
Freaky.
Yeah.
Do you think people thought we like?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think people thought we were all together, and like had orgies.
That's so funny. Us in the bonus room.
That wasn't the case. So if anyone from high school is listening and they're like, "What really happened?"
Now
I'm
you
sorry.
know.
I'm sorry to ruin it. It's not as like cool. Anyways, Tange.
So they called and they were like, "We see you have." His name was. The whole letter was Barbie themed because the mom was Barbie. We're like, "We see you have Just Ken on hold." And I was like, "Yes." And they were like, "He's going to be ready for pickup tomorrow." She's telling me all the things. And I was like, "Okay, so I'm taking work off tomorrow." And I like opened my laptop the second I got off the phone and like put in a day. And I picked him up the next morning and my mom came with me. And she documented the whole thing.
He what?
She documented the whole thing.
Oh, she did.
And I brought him home and got him all set up.
The OG documenter.
Truly. So then I took him home and I wanted to do like a really slow introduction with the two cats because the main reason I wanted another cat was for Louis. I just feel like he's not living his best life. Like
We be busy girls. Our cats are alone a lot.
They are. And it makes me sad. So I knew eventually Louis would love having a cat, but I knew he was going to hate me at first. And, well, actually, I knew he was going to hate it at first. I wasn't expecting him to hate me. But boy, did he.
We talked about, I don't know when this was, over the weekend, about what we thought his age was. Like,
oh, yeah.
Era-wise, like teen, 20s. And you said you think he's early 20s, right?
Yeah, I think he's like 22, 23.
And it felt right. Like, I'm like, okay. He's like living at home and he like thinks he
thinks he's so old and mature, but he's just
he's really just like 22.
Yeah.
No offense. Because when you're 28 and you look at how you were at 22, it's just life.
When I was 22, I like totally thought,
oh yeah,
I was just so grown.
You graduate college and you're like,
I'm officially like a real adult now. There's all these adulthood milestones, but when you graduate college, that's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
This is the real deal. But
it's
you're
really
just
like
still a baby.
25, 26. Mm-hmm. When your frontal lobe develops. It really does.
It really is, though.
Yeah.
I stand by that 100%.
I saw a TikTok and it was like, my like hot take is I don't think you should be with the same, like, be with someone forever if you started dating them before your frontal lobe was fully developed.
Whoa.
And I was like, whoa. I kind of agree, but I think there are caveats to it. Like, you could be dating, have some time apart, mature a little, come back together. So it's not like you can't be with the person that you were with.
I think it's possible, but you have to be really intentional about it.
For sure.
And like hopefully you're going to therapy and all of those things.
I do think it's really like also aimed at young 20s, late teens women who date like late 20-year-old men or like even mid 20s.
God.
Like even okay, so like mid 20s. Say like you're 24 and you're dating someone who's 20, whatever. At that point, when you're that age, you'd be like, they're not that much older than me.
Yeah.
Because when you're in it, you don't actually, it is so much older. And then when you're over that like hump, when you look back, even like 19 to 21, 20, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because you understand those.
I don't think age difference doesn't matter until like several years age difference until you hit 25. Like more than a year age difference younger than 25 I think is just too much. Like 18 to 20.
So different.
Totally different lives. 19 to 21. 20 to 22. Like it's just.
And I think there's caveats.
There's so much growth happening there.
You could be at 21, but you grew up really early because of trauma or whatever, or like your whatever. And I definitely know people who are like that all their friends are a few years older, all their, you know.
Yeah.
I think
We
there's
have friends like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are definitely like everything. Nothing's black and white. What?
How did we get here?
How did we get here? We were talking about baby Guinness, and then we got to...
Oh, we were talking about Louis. Oh,
dating.
Louis's age.
Oh.
How did we get to that from there? Oh, my God.
We were talking about... We were explaining, like, an early 20s mindset, and then...
And then totally went down that path.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Louis hissed
This
at
is
me.
why we don't need to plan topics.
Exactly. Louis hissed at me for the first time ever.
And me.
Yeah. Well, just was angry. And then if you, like, went into the room and hung out with Guinness and then came back out.
Betrayal.
He was gone. He was like, you went out there and you hung out with him instead of me. Like, he was really hurting. But he's doing so much better now. And I did, like, the proper slow intro. And once they saw each other, they, like, saw each other for the first time yesterday. And after that, Louis moved really quick. I feel like he was like, oh, it's just a little baby. And that was my hope. That's why I got a kitten instead of adopting an older cat. Because I knew he would need to feel like that's his kitten. That's his little baby. So I feel like that's helped. And they even got to play a little bit today. Guinness is really, really excited to be friends and, like, ready to just dive right into it. And he's very fearless. So it does not matter if Louis is, like, making sounds or swatting. Like, he's like, oh, this is so much fun.
It was so cute. Just a little bit ago, Louis was just, like, walking down the hallway. And baby Guinness is, like, running, like, kitty running right behind him, like, at his feet.
Yeah.
Because he has to run to keep up.
Keep up with Louis'
and it's just
long
so
legs.
obvious. He's just like, what is he doing? Like, I just want to follow him around and, like, play. And
Yeah.
do whatever he does.
And Louis is doing a really good job. And I think he actually is enjoying it. But he's just not as eager as Guinness is. Like, he's not so ready to jump in.
Yeah, he's not ready for
a little more
Guinness
tentative
to, like, jump at him right now. Like, he's not ready for contact yet.
Yeah.
Hi,
But we're doing a
Bubba.
good job of
You're
being in
doing
the same room.
good.
Yeah, you can be a good brother, huh? Oh, no. Okay, well, while she's doing that, I have a catch up. Some crazy. Damn, you should have brought the tarot today.
The what?
The tarot. I still want to do that. Some crazy, like, universal stuff happened to me last Tuesday. This Tuesday? No, today's Monday. Last Tuesday. So on Monday, we recorded that episode talking about exes. And did I not talk about how, like, far off my ex was, how I, like, didn't know anything about him anymore? And Mariah would, like, ask, I think she asked, like, one question, like, oh, how does that feel to you? And I was like, I don't know, it's just, like, so far removed. I wouldn't know. Well, I went to a movie on Tuesday night, which I never do. But I did because I wasn't going to work on Wednesday. And then I went to a movie theater I don't normally go to because I wanted to see one particular movie. Like, there are all these things that just weirdly align. And then I ended up leaving, like, 10 minutes later for my movie than I meant to. I ended up getting really good parking. And then, before I left, I was, like, very intentional about what I was wearing and, like, how I looked that day. Because sometimes I get in these modes of, like, who knows who I could meet right now, you know? Or sometimes I get this really overwhelming feeling of, like, if I go to the park and read right now, I'll meet the love of my life. It's yet to come true, but it is fun in the moment. So I was kind of having one of those days, and I was like, okay, like, I'm going to, like, put on a cute outfit, do my hair, whatever. Nothing crazy, but, like, I looked cute for going to the movies. And
I look cute.
I was walking to the theater and I passed this table of hot guys. There's never young people at this bar I was walking past, but today there was like this group of young hot guys and I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of fun. I made a little eye contact. And then I stopped across the street.
Eye contact.
Yeah, something crazy happened. We made a little
eye contact.
And then I stopped across the street to garden a little bit before I went into the movie. Again, all of these things.
Main character energy.
Are changing my timeline, right? And as I'm
true.
Standing there gardening, I'm like, God, I'm so fun. And I'm like thinking about how cool I look to that table of hot guys.
Yeah.
And I'm not thinking anything else about it, right? So we finish gardening and I walk up to the door of the theater and I like go to pull it open. And as I'm like, so the door's here. If you're listening, this isn't helpful. But the door's here and I like go to open it and I like turn my body, right? As I'm doing that, I'm like lifting my sunglasses up. And
I'm like stressed and I've heard this a few times, I feel.
In that exact moment, as I'm lifting my sunglasses up, I make eye contact with this guy. And it was like just a millisecond to the point where I was like, no, actually, I'm not going to say that part out loud. I made eye contact for a millisecond. And then I was like, I'm going to, wait, he like looked kind of familiar. So then as I'm walking inside, I get on the escalator and I can't remember like how I went about, I was putting something in my purse and I like turned around again and I saw him and I was like, oh, that's definitely one of my ex's best friends. And then it was one of those things where now I can tell he's double taking me too, but we didn't make long enough eye contact for it to be guaranteed that he saw me and I saw him. Like, I feel like both of us are playing that game of like, did they see me? Like, is it even worth saying something?
Yeah.
So we didn't say anything. In this movie theater, there's an escalator and there's stairs. I'm on the escalator. And as I'm on the escalator, the guy's on the stairs behind me, the friend. And
the friend.
I'm watching someone walk up the stairs and I'm like, I know that walk. I know that walk. I'm like, that looks like my ex. Which, it's so crazy. I said this to Mariah afterwards. It's crazy how, even though so much time has passed, like how intimately you can just know someone. Like, that's such a weird detail to be able to recognize someone by, like, oh, I saw you walking up the stairs and I know that's you.
Yeah.
So I see him walking up the stairs and I'm like, this is crazy.
So Cailey moving up the escalator. Ex
in front. Best
Ex's
friend.
best friend walking
behind.
currently. There's not like when she told me that I was like, there's no way out.
No,
like,
there was
there's
no way
literally
out.
no way out. Like, I'd want to turn around and run back out.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Well, I wasn't necessarily upset at the idea of seeing them. It was more the awkward situation of, like, it wasn't so blatantly like, oh, I saw you and, like, let's say hi.
Yeah.
It's like, I saw you. Did you see me? But
now this situation has been made more uncomfortable than it needed to be.
And now if we haven't already said hi, it makes it even weirder if we do, you know? That was the real issue. So I'm, like, going up this escalator and I'm like, well, okay, I'm like fully mentally preparing to have to say hi at the top. And obviously my ex gets to the top first and he's like standing off to the side of the staircase, not really paying attention to me, looking at his friend that's walking behind me. And he's like, oh, whatever. And it like sounded like they were reuniting. So my theory is like he was just in town for whatever reason. I don't know. I feel like his mom's birthday was in the spring. Like maybe that had something to do with it.
I literally was like panicking. Not me panicking. Panicking that like this means that he's back permanently.
Yeah, Mariah was like, oh my God, so now we have to worry about this.
Like new fear unlocked. Like no hate. Like I don't mean it like it's just
it would literally be it'd be fine. Perfectly fine.
It'd be totally
to run into
fine
him
in reality, but I don't know.
It's just like a thing that limbs.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. Like you have an interesting perspective too, because you guys have a history as friends, and as people that are like no longer friends, and that friendship didn't necessarily end in a great way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would just be a thing. It wouldn't have to be a bad thing, but it would be a thing.
Yeah.
So he's standing off to the side and like saying hi to his friend, and I get to the top of the escalator and I'm just like gonna charge ahead. But right as I'm getting to the top, they like move in front of me and get in line for like the ticket taking person. And I know, because I'm a frequent moviegoer, I don't need to stop there. I need to go to concessions and get my ticket. Duh. So I just walk right past. And then the ticket taker person was like, not just to me, but like to a couple people that walked by, generally was like, oh, like, do you guys have tickets already? And I'm like, oh, shit. Now I have to turn on them. And I was like, oh, nope. And I just kept walking. And then in that moment, I made like just a tiny bit of, well, I don't know if it was eye contact, but I saw him. And I was like, okay, it's definitely him. And then Mariah made the point of, well, now he knows it's you because even just your voice. And I was like, oh, I guess I didn't think about that. So they're standing back there and I'm in line at concessions.
Like, he recognizes things about you too.
Whoa, I don't like being perceived.
Like, he might
like
have already seen the back of you walk by and be like, I think that's Cailey. And then when you said that and turned around, he was like, oh yeah, that's Cailey. He could have had the same type of thing.
Whoa. Ew, why does he know all that about me? I don't like that. So now I'm just like standing in line waiting to get my movie ticket, and they're behind me for a little bit, and then I watched them like walk past towards the theater, and I was like, well, I don't think my movie will be in that hall. And then my movie was in that hall. And then the whole movie, I was like going in and out of being really locked in because it was really good. What was it called?
Sinners?
No. The Jacob Elordi one.
Oh,
Daisy Edgar Jones. I want to call it Sweet East, but I know that's not it. That's a different one.
Wasn't it like a number?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Well, anyways, I'd be like really locked into the movie, and then all of a sudden I'd remember what happened, and I was like, so when I leave, like, what if we run into each other when we leave? And it was the looming idea of, are we or are we not going to speak, and not the actual idea of speaking.
Yes. The anticipation of something is always the worst.
Yeah.
Than it actually ever is. That's why I try not to like overthink or think about scenarios too much before.
Yeah. I can't relate to that, but
well, I try. I don't always succeed.
I try.
But that's always what I try to do. Like, my goal is to always be like, don't be in your head. Like, come on. Be present. Come on. Medication does help with that. Like, a ton.
Give me some of that.
Like, Adderall specifically, I mean.
Damn. I still got to get that diagnosis.
Like, what's crazy about Adderall is when you actually start taking it.
On Swift horses.
That's what it is. Why did I think 7?
I don't know. Swift.
When you're like close. Actually take it, and it's like you find the like dose that actually like works well for you, and you're taking it consistently, you start to realize like how much ADHD actually affects like things that aren't so obvious. Like, there are the obvious ADHD things that we're always like, ADHD, like, my ADHD is bad. Like, I say that all the time. But then there are like little things that you're like, whoa. And I would say like the overthinking, like the like voices. The voices. The like scenarios. I mean, it definitely still happens, but I think it helps. Anyways.
Well, moral of the story.
The tangents are insane.
The tangents are crazy. ADHD.
ADHD. I fuzz everywhere.
I did not end up running into him after the movie. But my wondering, and Ryan and I were going to pull tarot for this, was just like, that was so, I want to say divine intervention, but I feel like that implies a God. And I don't believe in that, like interversal intervention.
Divine intervention can mean that the universe did it.
Okay, well, it very much felt like divine intervention just because of all the things that had to align for that specific thing to happen. Like, homie doesn't live here, as far as I know.
We did like walk through, I feel like, and this reason, and then this reason, and this reason. And at the end of it, you were like doing a voice note, I think. And at the end of it, you were like, this is way too many like reasons that it's crazy that it happened.
Yeah.
For it to not actually be
for some purpose.
Yeah.
Like,
and also we were just talking about,
we just talked about him the day before. We hardly ever talk about this man.
we never talk about him.
Already weird. I went to a movie on a Tuesday. Weird. Went to a theater I don't usually go to. Weird. Left later than I was supposed to. Put thought into how I looked.
Weird.
He was here, and as far as I know, he doesn't live here. Like, I stopped outside to garden. All of these things that made it that exact timing. Like, literally, if it would have been 30 seconds later, I don't even think we would have seen each other.
I mean, and it also
Maybe not
could
30
have.
seconds,
It
maybe
also
60,
could have been
but-
like not worse, but worse. Like if the timing was a little different, you could have literally walked up to the door at the exact same time. You could have been like in the exact same theater.
I don't know. I do feel like that almost would have been better, just so it could be like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
Because the only anxiety I feel over it is like that, will they, won't they, will they, won't they? Like, did you see me? Did I see you? Like, do we say hi? It would have felt better to me to just be like, oh, what the fuck? Hey.
So then it is even more interesting, because then what does it really mean? Because it also could have been one of those things, and that would have been easier.
Yeah.
So the universe gave you the most anxiety-inducing
Version?
path? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? I just want to know.
Why?
Like, that had to have been for a purpose. But I will say,
I do be believing in, like, purposes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, when there's that many things
Why else?
that
also,
made it align.
like, purpose. Not to tangent again, just one note. Purpose as a whole, like, why else are we, like, experiencing life?
Anything.
Like, anything at all.
Yeah.
There has to be purpose to all.
Wow.
Anyways.
I did say this to Mariah afterwards. I was like, I feel like not as a whole, but with men specifically, like my confidence has been low lately. Not that I've like really been around any of them. But I don't know. I feel like this is a relatable thing. I don't think this is just a me thing, but like going in waves of almost like a God complex of like,
Oh, yeah.
like literally anyone would be lucky to have me, and like
God
there's
bless a God complex.
nothing to worry about because I'm so much better than you, respectfully. And then also waves of waves of like, there's no way he's looking at me. Like, of course they're looking at someone else, you know, like, and it's not because I don't
probably
think
my constant.
I'm pretty, or right now it definitely feels like my steady, and it's not at my core my confidence.
Yeah.
Like, I actually am very confident in who I am and how I look and all of that, but it's just for whatever reason when you add that romantic aspect, I become a self-doubter, and I just assume like, why would it be me when it could obviously be her or her or her, you know? So I've been living in that headspace for a while, I think. And it gave me like a little bit of a boost of confidence, because first I have a little confidence boost past the hot guys. And then they're like behind me in line or whatever, and I'm standing in my like cute little outfit with my cute little hair and just hanging out, like not on my phone or anything, just chilling, like waiting in line, took myself to a movie. I just feel like that's cool.
Yeah.
And I think there's nothing hotter than someone that just looks like self-assured. And I feel like I was giving that of like, yeah, I'm just going to go to a movie and hang out, and I'm not.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
Yeah. So
maybe that's just the reason.
maybe that was the reason.
Yeah.
But I mean, that does feel nice.
Yeah, fuck.
Not only to just, like, it wasn't just running into your ex. It was like running to your ex and like feeling good about it.
I'm feeling good about it. Imagine like running into your ex for the first time at a high school reunion. Can you imagine? Because you'd really want to walk away being like, I'm so much better and better off.
Yeah.
That must be why people feel so much pressure.
Dun, 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 dun,
One of the
dun,
reasons, at least.
I would be
This is our
less
10 years.
at a high school reunion. I would be less worried about him and more worried about, like,
people.
yeah.
Oh, for sure. I'd be worried about it all. We're not having one, I'm assuming.
I mean, there's no way.
But this is our 10-year.
Which I will say, I feel like 10 years is way too soon.
I do too. Like, it hasn't been that long since we've seen each other and been doing, like, on the same, like...
Yeah, well, and especially because... Whoa.
I just remembered that... Oh, we can bleep on here. I just remembered, I was thinking about, like, you know, you also, like, run into people because you're in, like, the same age range and, like, we're all kind of doing similar things. And then once you get into, yeah.
Well, I was just going to say because of the college part, too.
But
like,
wait.
everyone's in college and then you come home and whatever.
Yes. But when I gasped, I remembered that we just ran into and what the fuck? And we did not talk about that enough. Like, I
No,
feel
actually,
like
we didn't.
that happened and we were like trauma response and we never talked about it.
That actually was kind of a similar scenario, though. Of
Oh, yeah.
we
saw them.
saw them, but did they see us? Do we have to say hi? That one was more like, I genuinely don't want to talk to you. But also, like, similarly, I felt really cool that day.
True, same.
Like, we were somewhere, like, on a meeting for our business and, like, talking to the owner of this place.
It's also crazy because be the one.
Mm-hmm.
Can't put any of that in.
But yeah, you're right. It's like we're all, for the most part, I would say when you're in your 20s, you're all in similar just phases of life, similar circles. Like people are going out to the bars or like going to certain games or whatever. And then 4 of those 10 years, not everyone, but like we went to a college prep school. So it was pretty much the norm that all of us went to college. So 4 years after we graduated high school, it was like everyone dispersed, but then on the holidays and the summers, everyone was back in town and seeing each other and running in. And it's like, it hasn't been 10 years. Realistically, it's maybe been 6.
Yeah.
So it's just too soon.
I'd say like 2020. Like COVID was the cutoff from that time, that era. Those people, not in a personal way necessarily, in some cases.
Some, yes.
Yeah.
Others, no.
But others, no. And like just life, you know, that happens. And I feel like COVID was when it was like our blip.
It was like our blip. We all like popped back out a year later, like totally different humans. Mm-hmm. Anyways, we've been talking about me for 47 minutes. What's your update?
It's okay because
there was a few pauses.
There was like multiple topics within all of that. So there were topics. We might not actually get to our actual topic today.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I don't know if I have. I feel like it's.
I don't know.
I feel like it's so unlike me not to have like some type of catch up. Like I always feel like I have something I want to share.
We had a chill last 2 weeks though, so I feel like that helps.
Yeah. The only catch ups that I have are like real personal shit that I just wouldn't talk about. I haven't talked about them at all, so.
Oh. Not even to me?
Nobody.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. Because it's
At
not.
first I was like, maybe I know what she's talking about. And then you said that and I was like, oh, no, I don't.
Because it's also not directly about me. It's like I'm adjacent, so I'm experiencing it, but not. So it's not my story to tell. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there are lots of things I could talk about how things can affect you, but I can't talk about that without talking about that.
Yeah.
So I'm just not going to talk about it. The only update with the ex situation is that I'm even more pissed off than I was the last time we talked. What?
He sent me a TikTok today, and I was like,
son of a bitch! You are seeing my live reaction, and I am pissed off. And let me tell you before she even shows me this, I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Am I gonna... edit all this out. I don't know. We'll see later.
We'll see what mood I'm in tomorrow.
We'll see how I feel tomorrow.
Well,
when I'm
the
editing.
thing is, we talked about this, not on here. And
We've
you should
talked
know
about
this
it.
too. Normally, it would be, I wouldn't think twice about him interacting with me. Like, we still talk every once in a while, and, like, we'll catch up and interact with each other's things. Like, that's not weird. But lately, there's just been this influx ever since the post, honestly. And now it's, like, putting a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, ugh.
It feels weird.
Not only did he comment on it, but then he also sent me the post.
Okay, what TikTok did he send?
Well, I want to know what you think he means by this. I was so thrown. And it's totally, like, again, we do occasionally send each other a TikTok. But most of the time, it's, like, babies. Because I think we're the only people we have to relate on that.
You have Rachel
for each
now.
other. I do have Rachel now. And Anna.
And Anna. Well, Ellie likes babies too.
I guess that's true. I have lots of friends that like babies
There
now.
you go. Cut them off.
So this was like totally out of our usual range. I wanted to like respond and be like, are you talking about like me, Mariah, and bleep this? But then why would he be talking about that?
No,
That's like
because
not relevant to the time that you were together.
No, he barely knows about that.
So that's weird as fuck.
Maybe you should respond and say, is this about you, me and Mariah? That's what he says.
Or maybe I should say the other thing, and then
What thing?
he'll have to clarify.
Oh.
Yeah, so the exes are just climbing out of the
Xing.
walls.
Exes are Xing. Talk about how having baby Guinness has felt.
Oh my God. I feel, because obviously most of the people I talk to are my coworkers, because that's where I spend a lot of my life.
Yes.
And
Majority.
they're all 20 plus years older than me, married with children. So when I say these things, they have like the actual lens of it. So I feel like there's a little chuckle. But I'm like, I literally feel like I'm a mother. I don't remember feeling this way with Louis when I got him, but now that I have two, I feel like it's like this crazy
Mothering
balance. Especially like they're new to each other. I'm sure it won't always feel this way, but because baby G is a baby and because they're new to each other, it's just like lots of extra energy right now. And before I picked up baby Guinness, I was talking about how like this must be what mothers feel like when they have their second child. Because I just was so stressed about how Louis was going to react and like wanting to give the baby love, but not wanting Louis to feel neglected. And my mom was like, what do you mean you're not going to sleep with the baby? Like he needs to bond. And I was like, I can't not sleep with Louis. Like
it's
he'll
like
literally never forgive me.
Like you're talking about kids.
It literally the baby.
The baby. You're not sleeping with the baby?
So I was talking about all that before I got Guinness. And then since I've had him, I took 2 days off of work. Because the first day I had him, I obviously needed to be home. And then a few hours into it, I was like, I can't leave him alone tomorrow. There's no way. So my only job for literally 5 days was to just take care of the cats, bond with the cats, help the cats bond. That was my only job. And I was just saying to Mariah earlier, like it sounds silly, but I feel like it's this crazy taste of motherhood and like being a homemaker because again, my only job for 5 days was that. And I feel like I was behind on cooking and I was behind on cleaning and I stopped working out. And it just was like honestly overwhelming. Not to any extreme sort of level, but
It was your maternity leave.
it was my maternity leave. But it was like, I feel like a lot of work and it kept me very busy. And
Also, it is no joke to bring new pets into a house or bring a pet into the house. Only adopt if you can.
If you can handle that.
It's not that
And if
easy.
you're not thinking about how much work it's going to be and how it'll affect your life and their life and whatever, then maybe you're not ready to do it yet. Because I almost got a second cat lots of times, all of which were way more spontaneous. But this one, I like really thought about it thoroughly and was like, made sure that Louie was ready for it and that like financially I was ready for it. Like literally all the things.
Yeah. Like what you should do with having a kid too.
Exactly. I'm just experiencing it like mini size.
Yeah. I think it's
but
so
even
great.
mini, it's like pretty intense.
It is. No, it's not. It's, yeah. Like
So,
you had to be here.
I had to be here. And I just feel like it's so silly. I've always respected mothers. I've always wanted to be a mother. I feel like I understand how much work motherhood is.
You're a teacher, so you spend literally all your time with children.
Yes.
Like it's a big part of your life.
I'm well aware of how much work it is to take care of children. But I
also
genuinely,
in your free time, you like babysit, take care of your little cousins. Like 95% of your life is spent with kids.
Whoa. Oh my God. And then I have kids and it's going to be 100.
Depends on how things go.
And that's why I haven't had kids yet. I can't be a teacher and have kids. But I just have this new respect for mothers, especially mothers of multiple children. Because that's like...
And stay-at-home parents in general.
Yeah.
Like...
That's really hard.
They do not get enough credit.
Taking care of little living things. And also be expected to like cook and clean and like make a house a home and like give everyone else
and like
attention, but also give yourself attention.
Because you don't have a job. For those listening, I'm doing quotes. Wait, what did I say?
For those who don't have a job, end quotes.
Oh, I think I said that wrong. I meant to say, for those that have a job, in quotes. Wait.
No, I think you said it wrong that time.
Wait.
For those who don't have a job, stay-at-home parents that don't have a job, quote unquote.
Stay-at-home parents that don't have a quote unquote job. I'm doing the air quotes for those listening. Wait.
But you said quote unquote, so you covered your bases there.
Wait. I think I'm saying it all wrong. My point is...
I feel like I know what you're trying to say, and that time you said it right.
My point is that they don't get enough appreciation for how much fucking work it is. And it's like, because they don't have a job, quote unquote.
Yes.
People are like, it's not a real job, so you're not actually like, so you're expected to do all these other things because you're not working, quote unquote.
What, because I'm not making money, I'm not working?
Like, you would not be able, like, it's just as fucking hard, if not harder, arguably harder to be the person at home with kids. Sorry, but that's kind of my take.
I absolutely think it's harder to be the stay-at-home parent than it is to go to your grown-up job and interact with real adults who know how to actually communicate. Well, some of them know how to actually communicate and, like, do this thing that you have experience in doing, and there are rules and regulations and, like, ways to go about things. And hours that are followed versus being the one at home.
The patriarchy literally built the system on purpose so that men could escape. Because let me tell you, I've heard the stories about how like work used to be back in the day, you know?
Oh, God.
You know, drinking, partying, whatever the fuck they're doing. They're like, I'm getting out of the house. I'm getting away
cocaine and hookers.
I'm getting away from those loud ass kids because I probably don't even like them, because I probably also don't even like my wife, because I was probably forced into this and I was probably forced into blah, 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 because I'm talking like...
Because it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, all this shit. So there's all this resentment. You got to escape. Women, historically, have never been allowed to escape anything.
So true.
Anything. Men have always had that ability. And so, because of that and how the system has been built, I believe it is harder to be the person that's always with the kids 24/7 than to be the person that goes to work. Because I can be at my desk. I'm like, I need 5 minutes. I'm going to go sit on my phone for a second. The fuck? If you have a kid that's like needing, you can't do that.
Nope.
Also, suddenly you're expected to have everything like pristine.
Also, this conversation is simultaneously telling you why you should respect and pay teachers more.
Yeah.
Because love you, but I don't get to have 5 minutes on my phone at work. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I just need a second. No, it doesn't exist.
Mhm.
Not when there are children around.
If you're a caretaker of, in any sense with like children or anyone, like, it's not your time. Like, it's their time.
It's literally not about
like
you.
It's not about you at all. You
Your
are there
needs
for
are secondary.
So really
to their
any
needs.
like service, healthcare, anything like that, it's like you don't.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah, healthcare for sure.
I can't imagine doing that.
Even like
A reason
my
why I'm
mom was
not
a
doing
caretaker
it.
for someone with cerebral palsy,
Mhm.
or like people that take care of the elderly, or I mean whatever it is. Like you
It's-
literally have to put someone else's needs
it's-
before yours.
Like being a parent in that sense should, if I mean not all parents are like this. It should be like being a
Yeah.
parent in the sense of your life is not your own anymore. Like when you're a parent, your life is not your own anymore. It's
Mhm.
your children's lives. When you're a teacher, healthcare, whatever, when you go into that room
When
or
you're on the clock, yeah.
you are not the priority. You got to put yourself to the aside. The battery's low.
Yeah, so anyways, happy Teacher Appreciation Week. Venmo me.
Is it
And-
Teacher Appreciation Week
It is.
this week?
Yeah,
Wasn't
you
it
didn't buy me
just
flowers or anything.
Was it just Teacher Appreciation Week a little bit ago?
Yeah.
Am I just imagining that?
Maybe, but I do feel like there's been like a thing here or there that actually confused me. I was like, wait, is it Appreciation Week yet? But no, it's not.
So it was this last week.
No, it's this week, Monday through Friday.
Oh, I still have time to get you something. Don't count me off yet. It's day one.
It's day one.
I'll forget, and then it'll be Friday, and I'll be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Her Venmo's
to your
linked below.
senators. Yeah. I commented on someone's TikTok today that
Hell
was
yeah.
like, Teacher Appreciation Week, drop your Venmos.
Hell yeah.
And I was like,
Have you gotten anything?
No.
Damn.
but we'll see.
Should we wrap?
Holding out hope.
Is it,
Well,
should
yeah,
this
before
be
the camera
end?
dies.
I know. I'm like, what if it dies right now as we're saying this?
It probably
Is there any
will,
other
'cause
things
that's
you want to
always
say?
how it happens. No!
Are you sure? Did we
Yes.
close everything?
I think so. Also, to be clear, I know me taking care of 2 cats is not the same thing as being a mother, but it is a little taste, okay?
No, and I think it's good for people to have pets before they have kids because it's good.
Yes.
It's
And also, that just speaks
It's
to how
helped
much
me.
I love and care about my pets.
true. It should be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should feel intense.
It should feel intense like that. Okay. Well, thank you so much for watching or listening to this crazy motherfucking episode of It's Time Podcast. I'm
Quote,
Mariah. Quote unquote. I'm Mariah. That bitch is Cailey. We have new episodes every single Wednesday. Did I miss anything?
No.
We'll see you next time.